comedian Bill Mahr. Now, he just happens to be the #1 contributor to the super PAC that is supporting the president's re-election effort. Remember this thing that's run by Bill Burton? He used to be a deputy White House press spokesperson. Now he's out there raising money for the president. And Bill Maher is his #1 donor. $1 million check Maher gave to that organization. And here's what Bill Maher said Friday on his HBO show that actually got the attention of one former member of the Obama administration.
What she meant to say, I think, was that Ann Romney has never gotten her out of the house to work. No one's denying that being a mother is a tough job. I remember I was a handful. Okay, but you know, there is a big difference between being a mother in that tough job and getting your out the door at 7 a.m. when it's cold, having to deal with a boss, being in a workplace where even if you're unhappy, you can't show it for 8 hours. That is kind of a different kind of tough thing.
Joining me now, Sandy Rios, Vice President of Family PAC Federal and a Fox News contributor. Sandy, welcome. So this was the subject of discussion on some of the weekend Sunday shows, and they talked about Bill Maher in particular. George Stephanopoulos of ABC raising the issue about whether this is becoming a problem for the president. This guy and his incendiary remarks, this is only the latest, and he's a major donor to President Obama's re-election campaign. Does the president need to disavow this guy?
Oh, I think so. If he wants to be reelected, I think he absolutely must do that. But I would say that I think Bill Maher and Hillary Rosen are expressing the deep sentiment of the left. And I think women in America, especially those who consider themselves sympathetic to the positions of the left, mothers especially, need to understand that the left is not their friend, and they never have been. I think Bill Maher is expressing the view of the left, that mothers are somehow lesser persons. Any woman that's not worked knows how it feels to go to a cocktail party and be looked down on because she doesn't have a so-called profession. This war has been being waged for a very long time, so this vitriol is really natural. I would imagine Mr. Obama probably might even also agree. He had a working mother. There's nothing wrong with working moms, but I think most women understand that staying home, Megyn, you would know about this, with little children is work, work, work. And I think this is offensive to any woman in America who really treasures her ability to mother children.
Just the, you know, I mean, I said this on the show last week, just the pitting of us against each other is just so unhelpful. Stay-at-home moms and working moms need to be rooting for each other and supporting each other, and not, and we're not dividing against one another. It's just Hillary Rosen who's trying to divide us, and others who think like she thinks. And Bill Maher happens to be one of them, Sandy. So the question is, President Obama now has a question to ask himself. This guy donated $1 million to the super PAC. And President Obama is the one who keeps telling us that civility matters. The language we use matters. That guy Maher referred to Sarah Palin by the most vile term you can call somebody. You know, I won't even get into the examples of people he's attacked and what he has said. But the president seems to be, you know, when it comes to Bill Maher, it's fine. Civility doesn't matter when it comes to a comedian. Does he have a point?
No. No, Bill should not be allowed to get away with this and be a political player. The president should not let this pass. There's no question about it. You know, Bill reminds me of that kid in your class that used to be so mouthy and rude to the teacher, rude to all the kids, who has never been taken outside and taken to the woodshed. And I honestly wonder sometimes if he were taken to the woodshed, if Bill wouldn't be a better person, someone that we might actually like. I have to say, though, I have to emphasize, Megyn, that the left has never really viewed women in the way that I think most women view themselves. And let me just even go back further than that. Remember that the deep roots of the left go back way back in our lifetime and before this to I think of the old Soviet Union, where women were regarded as equals to men. Well, that was wonderful. They all wore uniforms like men. They had to put their children in daycare. They had to do the same amount of work as men in the workplace, and that was freedom. And that is really the root of all of this whole notion that there's no difference between the genders. And at first, I have to tell you, I kind of thought this was kind of a silly political game. And I'm not into games. Things are too serious right now. But I do think this speaks to a very important divide between the left and the right.
Yeah. And I do want to point out to the viewers that Melody Barnes, who's a former White House advisor, went on the Sunday show and said, look, this is a problem. And when it comes to civility matters. And David Axelrod refused to go on Bill Maher when an earlier controversy broke. But we'll see whether they give back that $1 million. Sandy, got to go. Thank you so much.
Okay, Megyn, great to see you.
We'll be right back.